Yeah. Acts of service is my main.
Okay.
And it's because of my mom. She was never really super huggy, kissy.
Mine, same thing. My mom is not like an I love you person.
But mine was, she was always there, you know, helping me out.
I
That's
might
why I
be the
like
same
it.
thing. Acts of service. That's
There
what
you
she
go.
does for me. I'm very excited to read this now.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for the rec.
Yep, all day, every day.
All day, every day.
And in that time, Isidore will draw his gun and shoot you dead. I've seen it.
Nah, I'd hit him. And we can meet Jesus together.
And I don't doubt you for a second, brother. But it doesn't matter what I think. You know that, right? Look, you made a mistake, and I get that. But know this, not everyone is gonna see it that way. Is that all of you?
Yeah. What the hell's happening?
Don't know yet. Some kind of viral outbreak.
Oh my, don't move, Naban, boy. Clip us, please.
No, please. No.
Don't move, boy. This, you don't move,
This is going to hurt. Ma'am, on your feet, now. Place your hands behind your head. David, grab the kid. We got people waiting on us to deliver, so you're gonna help them make it right. What the? Detective? You talk to the cops?
It's not like that, bro. All right,
Let's go for a ride.
this investment is not for financial gain.
Mister, and what makes you think you can play God and cultivate a human race?
Who says I'm playing?
Welcome to Carol's Journey. We have an exciting guest, an award-winning actor, and we're going to interview him today. We have Mr. Hiram Murray. And the thing is, we're going to have an exciting day today. Hiram.
How are you?
I am fine. Okay, well, we're going to start this interview at the very beginning. We're going to find out now, what school did you go to?
I went to the City University of New York City College. Up in
Okay,
Springfield.
but before that, you come from Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, you come from Brooklyn, and your background is Trinidadian,
Yes. My family's from Trinidad.
which is very good. It's very good because my family has a lot of interesting people there. Like my father was Canadian, so I have a lot of Canadian relatives,
Okay.
and some of them are from the islands. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Now, what I want to talk to you about is how let's talk about the schools. What schools did you go to? I mean, aside from college, what schools did you go to? You know, like high school,
Oh, okay.
school,
So
stuff like that.
from very early on, the very first school I went to was Hanson Place SDA school. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, and that was a church school. From there, I went to PS 202,
Right.
in East New York, Brooklyn. From there, junior high, I went to East New York Family Academy, which is also in East New York, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And from Family Academy, I went to Science Skills Center High School, which is in downtown Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
From there, I went to Touro College. And from Touro College, I went to CCNY, City College of New York, City University. And I graduated from there with a bachelor's in art in film directing and screenwriting.
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm very interested in that. I'd like to know about the Bachelor's of Art in screen directing. What prompted you to go into that area?
Funny thing about it, like I've always loved film and television. And
Right.
um, when I was 17 years old, I got into the industry. I started doing commercials and music videos, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And when I was 18, I did my first television show. I was on I was on a show on CBS called Now and Again with Dennis Haysbert. And doing that show, I found out that I had an affinity for all things film and television. So I decided that's what I wanted to study.
Uh-huh.
So when I went to CCNY, that's what I majored in film directing and screenwriting.
Right. Okay. Now, what I need to ask you now is, your first show was Now and Then, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what did you do after that?
Well, because so while I was in college, I was also part of the New York City Police Department, and 9/11 happened on my watch, in my backyard. So
Right.
when I graduated from college, when I finished it up, I put everything on a hold, my film career, everything, and I went and served in the United States Marine Corps.
Oh, okay. Now let's talk about your first commercial.
Okay,
Tell me about that.
it was an Adidas commercial with tennis player Anna Kournikova, and it was funny. We shot that in I guess you would call it Dumbo, and right by the bridge downtown Brooklyn, and it was this warehouse, and they outfitted it like a club. So so you had a whole bunch of, I was probably 100 to 200 extras in the club, and Anna Kournikova and some other tennis players were playing tennis in the middle of the club while we're all dancing, singing, drinking, and having a good time. That
Right.
was the
Okay.
first commercial that I ever did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, then. And then what was next?
I don't remember like the next commercial, because like shortly after that, that's when I booked the job for Now and Again, which in that episode there was a terrorist who put like sarin gas inside of eggs, and I played a train passenger who was sitting next to him on the train, and he dropped the egg and let off the sarin gas
Uh-huh.
and tried to kill everyone on the train.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things I'd like to ask you now is, when did you start doing work in the film industry?
So after I got out the military, I knew when I entered the Marine Corps, it was never to be a lifer or make a career. I just wanted to go serve my country. And I knew that I will one day come back to my first love, which is, film and television. And so I knew I had to go to California, LA, Hollywood. It's the mecca of film and television.
Right.
And when I got out the Marine Corps, the funny thing about it is LAPD used to travel around to different military bases, and they would recruit people who were getting out the military. I already had a top secret clearance. I was physically fit, now getting out the Marines. And so it was like an easy hire. So they actually hired me right on the spot. I flew to California for 2 weekends. The first weekend was to do the paperwork and do a physical fitness test. And the second weekend was to do a polygraph and to meet with a psychiatrist. And after that, they gave me my letter of hire. So just to let you know, it takes the average civilian about a year and a half to go through the background investigation and get accepted into the police department. But when you're coming straight out the military with a top secret clearance and stuff like that, it only took me 2 weekends. And so I moved to LA in 2008, joined LAPD, was a police officer from 2008 to 2015. And while I was being a police officer, I decided, you know what, I want to get like real formal training in acting. And I went to an acting school over here, which is a very, very great acting school. And it's called the Joanne Barron D.W. Brown Acting Studio. And essentially what it is, it's a 2-year Meisner training program. And I did that. And within my first year, I started booking gigs or jobs in the film industry, television shows. I did Touch with Kiefer Sutherland. I did a series called Heroin Legends, where I played the main villain in that. It was kind of like a martial arts type of show. I would actually have to look at the rest of my resume to see which came first and stuff like that. But that was the start of like my career in Hollywood. And throughout the years, from I would say maybe like 2010, I started to work consistently up until I got to a point in 2015. By the grace of God, I got to a point in my career where I didn't need a survival job anymore. Didn't need to work for LAPD anymore. And from 2015 to present, I'm full-time actor.
Right. Now I need to go back.
Certainly.
When did you get married? Okay.
So I got married when I was 18. This coming October would be 22 years of marriage.
Okay.
And I have 6 children.
And how many kids do you have?
6 children.
You have 6 children.
I have 6.
Oh my God, you were quite busy. Yeah.
Military life will do that to you.
Yeah. You were quite busy. You got a beautiful wife. Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, she's a Pedro's daughter, and
yeah, she was.
I have to put in a word for her.
Yeah,
6 kids. My goodness.
They're my driving force. I wouldn't be the man.
Oh my God! But you're trying to catch up to Pedro's family?
No.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, one of the things now we need to talk about is some of your shows. You have here Anonymous Killer.
Yeah, that's a movie that.
Can you tell me about that?
So Anonymous Killers, that movie just came out last year, coming out to the end of 2020. And in that film, so the premise of the movie, there are 5 killers, various assassins, stuff like that, who have to atone for their sins, for their crimes.
Right.
And the film talks about, it goes on a journey. It shows you how they became who they are, and whether or not they pay for it at the end, you'll have to see. But I play a Somali warlord who, one of the killers in the film, he became a killer because of what I did to him. So in the movie, like I said, I play a warlord who came to a village and killed everyone and kidnapped the children and raised them as child soldiers. Mm-hmm. So that upbringing allowed him to grow up and become the man he was today. Well, that day.
Okay. We're going to go to a break right now.
Okay.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
What's more dangerous? A man who isn't afraid of death or one who's found everything to live for? I asked him if he was proud of me. He emphatically said yes as he laid his pecan-colored head on my chest, and I went through my mind 1,000 times to figure out what that could possibly mean, and every single example ended in motivation for me. So you may not be afraid to die, but I'm more afraid to let them down. And I found something to live for, which is a dangerous motive forever fueled. See, your thoughts may be involuntary, but my actions are very calculated. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. My sons ain't raised by no coward, and they won't be one either. If this be the measure of a man, the yardstick gon' need way more meters. I take it too far, so they never come up short, because I found everything to live for.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write him a text or knit him a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write him a letter.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again.
Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
But you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a course online.
You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
My mom, man. She'd sit on the porch all day waiting for one of these letters. When this whole mess of war started, I was down at the recruiter's office the next day. And my mom, she begged me not to go. Didn't want me dying in some white man's war. So why'd you go then? I figured if you white folks saw us colors fighting for your freedom, you see it right to give us our freedom.
Welcome us back from the break. We're here at Carol Journey TV to speak with Hiram A. Murray. And we're going to talk about the film we just saw, which was The Great War. And that's what we're going to talk about, okay? And we're going to talk and find out what was involved in the Great War.
Okay. So the Great War is the story of the Buffalo Soldiers and all African-American unit fighting in the Army during World War I. And in the film, my unit fights deep behind enemy lines, and I get cut off from them during a battle. So the premise of the movie is it's a rescue film. And in the film, I am ordered to join an all-white unit and show them or lead them to where my Buffalo Soldier unit was last seen, and we try to find them. Throughout the film, we deal with topics of racism. And matter of fact, in that clip that we just watched, one of the soldiers, he asked me, well, why are you even taking part in this war? And, I basically tell him, I don't see black and white, and by me doing this, I'm hoping that you view me in a different way. You view me as a brother, and I wholeheartedly enjoyed that film. It was reminiscent of my real life, because in every military unit I've ever served in, I've always been the only black officer. And so, sometimes, you kind of, you feel a little lonely at first, but when at the end of the day, it's all one team, one fight, and people get to know you, and your work ethic speaks for itself, and there's no separation then, when when a mission needs to be accomplished, it's all hands on deck. And like I said, it's always one team, one fight.
Okay. You know what I want to ask you now is that how does this film tie into Black Lives Matter?
This film ties into Black Lives Matter in the sense that we are all one. Okay.
Right.
It's the value of my life is not less than my white counterparts.
Right.
I bring, especially during that time period, you have to, what's reminiscent of that time period and what's going on now in this country is that just to be seen as an equal, I have to do better.
Right.
Than my counterpart. In the film, I'm more tactically sound. I'm a stronger military member. Everything about me is on point. Whereas my white counterparts in the film, they weren't up to my level. Okay, and even in real history, the Buffalo Soldiers were an unmatched fighting force in military history. And that's because we had to prove something. We had to prove why African Americans should be allowed to be in the military, and in this day and age, sadly, we're still proving ourselves just to be considered equal.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'd like to know what kind of advice would you give to a young person or a person who's interested in getting into the acting career?
I would tell them that with anything in life, you have to stick with it, okay? Because you will get a million no's before you get your first yes, okay? And I always equate it to you being a lumberjack and your career is this big sequoia tree in the middle of the forest. And you have to keep chopping at it and keep chopping at it and keep chopping at it. And one day that tree will come down.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't quit because you will meet with so much difficulty in life, and that the only difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not is that the person who's successful never gave up.
Okay.
They kept going. And then my second and last bit of advice when it comes to this job, learn your craft. Learn your craft. Get some formal training in acting in order for you to truly understand what it is. You can't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to be an actor and then move to Hollywood and think it's going to happen. That's the equivalent of you waking up one day and say, hey, I want to be a surgeon. And then you walk to the nearest emergency room and start working on someone. It doesn't work that way. There's training involved. So don't quit. Learn your craft and have faith. Have faith.
I'd like to know what's in it for you for the future.
What do I have coming up?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm getting ready. I'm in pre-production on a film called Operation Seawolf, where I am playing the first African American admiral in the Navy, Samuel Gravely Jr. I'm playing him, but early on in his career. And it's about World War II. And Dolph Lundgren is in the film with me, and he plays a German sub commander who I am chasing throughout the film. Okay.
All right. Yes. You work with a lot of famous actors and actresses, I see. And one of the things that I find is interesting right now is that we look at some of the films and things that you're doing, and we find it interesting that you work with so many famous people and everything. So, can you mention a few?
Sure. I've worked with my last film, which is in post-production right now. It's a Western. It's called The Last Son. I work with Thomas Jane. I work with Machine Gun Kelly, Sam Worthington from the Avatar movies, Heather Graham. I've been on. I was on a show on Fox called Lethal Weapon. I worked with Damon Wayans on that one. I did a show on Fox again called Touch. I worked with Kiefer Sutherland on that one. I have another project which I can't really talk about as yet, but it has quite a few black A-list actors in it. I'm getting ready to do that this summer, and I don't know. I'd have to take a peek at my at my resume to see who else I worked with.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to do besides acting?
No, it's the one thing I like. I've by the grace of God, I've lived an interesting and full life. I've done enough to last me 3 lifetimes. I'm on my I would say my 3rd career. You know, police in New York, police in LA. I'm on my 4th career actually. You know, because counting my military career and now I'm acting, and I've pretty much done everything I've wanted to do. And the beauty about being an actor is that I can be anyone and any time period in the world. You know, I've been an astronaut, I've been a cowboy, I've been a supervillain, you know, and now I'm playing historical figures. You know, I love this job, and it's the one thing I can see myself doing until the day I die.
Right. Okay. That's very good. Okay. Well, we're going to close, and I want to thank you very much. I hope that we can come back again and have more discussions about some of your programs and things that you're in and everything. And I also want to, well, this is me. I also want to say congratulations to your wife and your 6 kids. Yeah. Okay, then.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, the audience, for watching Carol Journey TV.
Come here. Give me that. Stop! Look around you. Do you see hearts and rainbows? No. And why? Because life's not a fairy tale. It's not built that way, okay? It's just not. And yeah, it sucks, but the sooner you get that, the sooner you grow up. And you don't drink another man's beer. Look, a word of unsolicited advice, kid. Do something you're good at. I've seen you. You're small and you're fast.
It's basketball.
Hey, be realistic. You got a better chance of being the damn president. What, you're all about what, 3 feet tall? And you're Asian. There's no doubt you got dealt a deck of cards. Look, do you want to be a loser? Then grow up and start acting like an adult.
Thank you.
No. Not like me. Look, I'm not your father or anything, and it's not my place. But you need to wake up, kid. You're not Steph Curry, you're not Batman, you're not Superman, or whatever funny shit that flies into your head. You are a real person. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you become someone that can take care of themselves.